3.
Welcome to Mother's Tea. We've got Madison with us.
Good morning.
Good morning. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Madison. I am a mom of 2 boys, 3 and 1. I'm a wife to Curry, and currently I'm working at Tootsie Lou's Boutique in our family business.
So we know Madison from when we worked with her at Healing Hands, and we miss her tremendously. She's amazing. But tell us about where you are and what you're doing now.
Okay, so totally different, completely changed paths at the beginning of this year. Have been a nurse, have worked in the medical field prior to that for, honestly, as long as I can remember as far as being in the working field. Totally changed directions though in January. My mom has Tootsie Lou's Boutique, was running the store. A year before that, there was a great opportunity for the store to move locations, much bigger, busier location, and so I was able to make the jump, come over here, work alongside her, and then my stepdad works in the business as well, so we are trying to hit the ground running with a women's boutique, clothing, accessories, all the things. So not the medical field anymore. So.
Which I love that. We were actually talking about just as we were starting this recording about how not everything has to be a college degree. Like, we're kind of getting out of that, I think, in my opinion, and experience goes a long way. And I just think it goes to show, like, what your 20-year-old self thought you would be doing. Even older than that, it's not. It's just about how life presents and what you find that your passion is. And so,
and where life takes you, for sure, because you probably thought, I'm going to nursing school, I'm putting in all this hard work, this is what I'm doing, this is my life. And then now looking back, you're like, man, that was a huge part of my life, but there's so much room for growth and opportunity.
Absolutely. God opens doors, I feel like, sometimes when you least expect it, and it took several nudges for me to listen and walk on through the door, but here we are, and it's been absolutely great. So, but I do miss my family, my fram.
Yes, always. So you have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. So when you were, with that one baby bliss and that one child life between you and your husband, what was the flip on, I'm ready to have another one?
I think it's like a false confidence almost because one baby is totally different than 2. So we had our routine with our first. In hindsight, he was pretty easy for us, especially as a baby. And I actually got pregnant when he was not even 1.5. So he was still not quite to terrible 2s. And so life was easy, smooth sailing. We had our routine. We had what worked for us. And we knew we wanted multiple children. We still want more now, actually. But anyways, we were blessed with our second, Hayes. They're exactly 2 years apart. They're both April babies. So
not 2 under 2, but 2 at 2.
2 at 2.
I mean, not 2 at 2. That sounds...
Well, 2, no, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
2
and new.
Whatever you call it. Yep, 2 and new. There you go. And then Hayes got here, and it was like a whole new world. Chaos at its finest, and it hasn't slowed down since. It is so different. Obviously we had our newborn, but then there's a sense of guilt too, because my 2-year-old is still my baby and still needs that attention. But then I've got this newborn now to take care of too. So it was hard to navigate that. Thankfully we've got an amazing village that helps, because we couldn't survive without my mom. She's 2 doors down, and she helps so much. But now they're both, like I said, 2 boys, so my house stinks, is loud, and it is chaotic. And
some of that's like you.
Okay, all right.
Stinks.
Does the younger one make the older one? Because the older one was just kind of very routine and everything else. Do they make each other even more chaotic?
Oh my gosh, they feed off of each other. Yes, my poor couch will never be the same. They climb up the side, stand up on top of the arm, and we cannonball down into the couch. And I thought, well, maybe it's just the 3-year-old. Well, now my 1-year-old has started to follow suit. And then naked butts running up and down the hallway. That's the norm.
Boys are always naked.
Oh.
We got a new couch last year. It's a year and a half ago. And I posted our other one. If anybody wants it, come get it. And my friend Macy was like, you go through more couches. And I'm like, Macy, you don't know yet.
Boys are
wild. It is urban air. No matter how many times you say no,
yep.
They're still treating it like that. And it's like, no, it just is. That's just how it is.
And it's not even just the boys. Jordan too. Like they'll all get to wrestling and going and hyping each other up. And I'm like, every single time we're there.
Yeah, everybody. And so I'm like, now she's got 2 under 2, and I'm like, I can't wait to be like, oh, you go
What's
through
your couch
couches
look like? That's so funny. Yeah, there's it. That poor thing. Well, Logan's like, what is that stain? I don't know. Just dust it off.
Flip the cushion.
Put a throw blanket
we
over
already
it.
flipped it from the Sharpie on the other side. Flip it back. It's fine. It's grease.
Yeah.
It's fine. I remember coming to see you whenever you had Hayes.
Yes.
And you were like, this is wild. Does it get any better? And I was like, no, but you just get used to it because it is fun and it is chaos.
Yeah.
But that transition from 1 to 2 is to me the hardest. But I mean, for me at least, 2 to 3, 3 to 4 wasn't anything compared to that 1 to 2 because it's just when you have 2 people sharing the workload of one versus.
Well, and one baby, I'm trying to do it right. I'm trying to be a good mom, right? So we dust a passy falls, we wipe it off. We disinfect that thing. Kid number 2, it's like, it's just a little dust. Here you go.
You're all right.
Dust it off on your pants.
You learn
how's that taste?
Yeah, exactly.
Germ's better for you.
You
hold on to it better, you little 4-month-old.
Important and what's not.
Yes.
So anyways, that was a huge learning curve for me too, is to like let go of the things that it's really not that big of a deal.
So that would be your advice.
Yes.
For someone with the 2 and new.
Yeah, and give yourself some grace. Where you might think you failed, because I've definitely gone to bed and like, I did not do a good job today. Mm-hmm. They're probably laying there thinking, and I know just from my 3-year-old, he thinks we've had the best day in the world. And so just to give yourself some grace. And I'm still learning that now,
But it is so true. We always go to bed with a Rolodex in our head of everything we did wrong.
Yeah. And
if we shift that and say, but what did I do right today? Because that's what they go to bed with. Like, that's what they think about. Their attention span doesn't hold on to that. We do our best and we gentle parent and all the things. I'm going to take myself out of that because I'm a loud person. But I do try and have empathy with my kids. Like a conversation with my daughter, I'm like, I remember that feeling. I know that frustration, or that's normal for your age. But also, like, what are you doing? Get it together. Yeah. That happy medium there. Or toddler life when they bite you.
Oh, yeah. And you're missing a chunk of skin. I like the gentle parenting though, like to a certain point.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to gentle parent until then it's not so gentle.
Yes.
Because then it's like, okay, what are we doing now? You're screaming, I'm screaming, everybody's screaming, we're getting nowhere. So,
and each kid is different.
They are. Even the 2 boys.
Yeah.
Night and day.
Like how you parent one versus how you parent the other, they're different.
They're so different.
And I feel like that's different from how we were raised, maybe. Or I'll just say, like, me personally, it was always kind of like fair. Be fair. Everything is the same between you 2. Yeah. It's like we were different kids. It didn't need to be. Yeah. And so.
That's so true. We were raised the exact same. Everything is it's fair.
Yes.
And my mom is still that way, which I think that's a great quality to have. So I try and be that way myself. But at the same time, you're right. They're so different that, sometimes I don't want to say fair isn't right. That's not what I mean. But they're different.
It's just different.
Yeah. And I also am learning as a mother how to do that because I do have siblings, but my brothers are 9 and 13, I believe, years older than me. So although I'm not an only child, I was the only child at home for the majority of the time, and the only girl.
Yeah.
So I'm the baby, the only girl, and I was at home. So like, I was talking to my husband the other day, and I'm like looking around the house, and I said, the kids were in bed, and I said, man, did you ever think a few years ago our house would be this dirty? And he goes, yeah, I totally expected this. And I'm like,
how?
What does that mean? And he was like, no, I'm serious. He said, I grew up with all three of us at home. He said, so this is the norm. I knew this is what it would be like. He goes, you, on the other hand, did not grow up with it like that. And I was like, wow, I've never thought of it that way.
That's
Here
true.
I'm like giving myself probably unrealistic expectations and like trying to speed clean always because my mama's house never looked like this, you know?
Yeah.
And well, my mom also never had two of us 2 years apart at the same time working 8 to 5, you know.
Yes, a full-time job.
Monday through Friday.
Plus
she
what
worked
comes after work.
Just totally different. You know, she's a flight attendant, so she was home 4 days a week.
Yeah, but when y'all own your own business, it's not Monday through Friday.
No, it's not.
It is 24/7.
It is, and we actually just talked about that. It never ends.
It doesn't.
I don't clock out.
No.
But at the same time, I am so passionate about the store, the work we're doing. It's enjoyable, and I'm doing it with my best friend.
Yes.
So, but yeah, with that being said, it doesn't stop. So my house is a pigsty.
But also, like, is it like, who is it dirty to? You know what I mean? Because, like, my house will be a mess, but I'm like, you know what? If people come over, guess what? We're just living. Like, this is how we have a 2-year-old. There's going to be toys.
Yeah.
Watch your step up the walkway. There's chalk everywhere. Like,
exactly.
You know what I mean? And the people that are at your village and the people in your life they probably don't even think twice. Like,
no, you're right.
They come over in their sweats or their hoodie and they're going to scoot the toys over and sit down and have movie night. They're not going to care that it's like, like, there's always this, like, I think, you know, everybody's trying to keep up with the Joneses of, we got to keep our house clean and prim and proper. We got to do this. But that's the reality.
It's not. Yeah.
Not at all.
And it does get better as they get older. Like, our house for the most part stays straight, but we also, my youngest is 7, so I don't have a bunch of toys where it looks like a daycare setting anymore, and so like that isn't going to present itself where the basket keeps getting dumped out every 10 minutes and stuff like that. Sometimes my husband will be like, oh my gosh, there's stuff everywhere, and I'm like, they're Legos and they're on the island and they're actively building. They're all right, you're all right. Like, it's
but I'm
okay.
sure there's still the mess of, like, when the boys come home and take their shirts off or leave their dirty clothes, or like
everywhere,
it's just whatever season you're in.
Yes, it just is like that is what
it's
it is.
always like, put your backpacks up, go put your shoes in your closet.
Yeah, homecoming was 3 weeks ago. We still have mums and garters in the locker room and in the kitchen, and I'm just like, it's part of the decor. I mean, it's okay.
Well, see, and I try to remind myself too, this too shall pass way quicker than I want it to. And so it's like, you know what? If I'm having to tiptoe around that Tony box and all those little Tonys all over the floor again,
then
that's fine. I'm happy it's there, you know? So I have to remind myself of that too. Often, actually, because it's
I get more annoyed having to clean up after myself and my husband, dishes, laundry, all the, like, those things, than I do going in her room and, like, picking it up, because we also have a Tony's box with, like, 20 Tonys, and I'm like, here we go, picking up the Tonys again. But I don't.
Tony box is spelled different than the real one. I bet you got it from Temu.
Mine's actually my uncle just speaking through, like, a boom box. We just wrote Tony on, like, duct tape. You know, that Tony.
That Tony. Oh my god.
That Tony.
You know, but I never get annoyed picking up her stuff, because I'm like, in 20 minutes, it's all going to be back out.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But then I'm like, I don't want to do the dishes.
Yeah.
But that's our mess. I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah.
What's your biggest challenge in parenting?
My biggest challenge is, I mean, it's honestly, even if we have a routine right now, it's still trying to navigate that, because not only are they, but we're not the same day to day. You look up and you don't even realize how much you have changed, let alone your kids are growing up equally as fast. So it's every day is something new. And I don't mean that in a depressing or like it's chaos. Well, it is chaos, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so trying to navigate that. It's like, man, I asked my mom, I'm like, did you know what you were doing? Because like, I was oblivious. I thought I have the best mom in the world. And she's like, no, I feel like you feel every day of like, man, I have no idea what I'm doing. We're just trying to survive today, you know? And so I would say that's the biggest challenge is it's never the same as it is today. Mm-hmm. Everything's always evolving, growing, and it's the best thing. But different versions of them, I'm having to learn how to parent.
Yes.
All while different versions of Curry and I, we're not the same parents that we were when we had Russ 3 years ago. Because we've grown and matured, and even like I said, you learn what's important. And so that's the biggest challenge is there's not a rule book, there's not an instruction manual. you're just learning. We're all learning.
Yep. And accepting change.
Yes.
I feel like, not to keep bringing up like when we were younger and stuff, but I do feel like it used to be bad for people to be like, you've changed, like you're different. I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
I'm not growing through life's pain and life's challenges and the hardship or all the good if I'm not changing who I am.
Yep.
That means I've not really met those challenges and saw them for what they were.
Yeah.
And so that is something big, and I feel like it used to be bad. Like, you didn't used to dress like that, or that's like, I've grown.
Change is good.
Change is good.
And I think people are so scared of it, but change is good. It's hard, but it's good.
Yes. And so our kids are supposed to also. Like, and we grow with them.
Exactly.
And with a toddler, they are changing and growing so much. Augustine could love something. We have watched Trolls. We know the credits. We know every actor, every song.
Yes.
I mean, that has been her thing for months. And now I'm like, do you want to watch Trolls? No, I don't like it. Okay, well, let's pick another. Right now she's in a Jurassic Park. But I'm like,
That's where she learned to bite.
I know.
I'm just kidding.
Seriously. Heather in Jurassic Park. But
let me out of it.
See,
I will bite you right.
Stop. No, stop. That's where she gets it from.
That is.
But they change so much and so quick. Last week it was something, and this week it's, okay, now we're not going to do that anymore. We'll do something different.
Yes.
But it's fun.
It is so fun. Russ started school this year, and same thing. He started it in August, and he has grown, evolved, changed drastically just since August. And it's like, man, this isn't even the same kid we enrolled, which I mean, he's still got a lot to learn, but we all do. I mean, like I said, we're all changing and growing, but it's so cool to watch and have that front row seat.
And they learn so quick once they're in school in that structure.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
My
how,
husband the other day, I got home and Russ was just talking nonstop, which I mean, same. But he goes, this is how he's been all day. He hasn't stopped. And I'm like, he is talking a lot. It's like, well,
remember when he wasn't?
Oh yeah. And that's part of what makes me so happy and beam with pride, is because, that's also why we started school a year sooner. So just to see the significant amount of growth from August to now, knowing that was the purpose, it's like, man, he needed this so bad. He needed
that setting.
Yes.
Did he babble a lot whenever he was first coming into talking?
Yes. And I mean, yes, he did. I said coming into talking, he needed speech therapy recently, so even up until that point, it's like, he's telling me something, I just have no idea.
Yeah, he's got a story to
tell.
tell.
Having to learn that too and navigate that, it's like, it's easy to compare to everyone around us, and it's like, none of my friends' kids are faced with this challenge like we are, and sometimes it's frustrating for us, it's frustrating for him, because he's struggling to tell us whatever he needs, and so he was, I would call, babbling up until not long ago, and it's like, he's telling me something, but we have no idea what, so he's learned so much. I can't thank his teacher and speech therapist enough for the growth he's had.
I love that. So what's your favorite part of parenting?
Oh my gosh.
That's a challenge. So what's your favorite part?
That's probably the hardest question. I don't know that I have a favorite part. I love every single second, and I'm not trying to sound cliche, but like, I've always wanted to be a mom. And so, ooh, you're gonna make me cry. They're just the biggest blessing to me. I'm so sorry.
You got me
I hate doing that. And that's another thing. What is going on? I had kids and I'm the biggest sissy now.
They teach us what real love is. They teach us, I'll give you a minute, but my favorite part is unconditional love.
Yes.
People ask me all the time, I know you have a favorite. Who's your favorite? And you have moments where you get along with one more than the other, maybe, or one is, making you giggle more or something, but you cannot pick a favorite.
No, they're different.
They're just so amazing, and you are blessed by who they are as individuals.
Absolutely. The biggest blessings.
So it's okay to be selfish in that moment and say, my favorite part is what they do for me.
Yeah.
And I never wanted kids. Ever.
No, you did not.
Ever. I said from a very young age, I asked my OB, can I get a hysterectomy? And I'm very set on not having kids. He slapped me around a couple times and was like, absolutely not. Thank God he did that. And thank him for doing that for me, because I didn't know.
Yeah.
But I just never wanted it. And now having Augustine, I just can't imagine not having her.
No.
I can't. And I get sad when at night I'm like, can she just sleep in the bed with me? Like, I want her to sleep with me. And I end up, I let her go to sleep, and then I put her in her crib, and I'm like, man, just her cuddles, her snuggles, her everything, her pick her up from school. Mom, I had a good day.
Yeah.
Or in the morning, if she doesn't want to go to school, she's like, have a day. And I'm like, okay.
It's still going to be a good day.
I'm like, okay.
Right.
But just everything with her, I'm like, I was selfish. I didn't want kids, but now I cannot imagine not having her.
And you are such a good mom to her.
are.
I mean, you really are such a good mom to her. But it is funny. Bree was at the house last weekend, and Augie did something, and I was like, it's not so easy just to get on to them all the time, because she used to always tell me, like, you don't spank your kids enough, or they get wild. And I'm like, no, it's just who they are, and you got to pick and choose.
Yes.
And now she's like, no, I still do it. And I'm like, no, you don't.
I know.
She beat you and bit the crap out of you. No, you don't.
Yeah.
She's your boss.
You're literally raising a serial killer. I'm just kidding.
Listen, she runs our household.
Oh, I love that girl. She's
But
so
I mean,
cute.
she is the best thing, and she's growing and changing, and I feel like I've grown so much since having her.
Yeah.
You look at life differently. You look at the choices that you make differently. Just everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, how's this going to benefit her?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is crazy, because you live for your kids, pretty much.
So what do you do for you?
I really, well, first off, I know this is my job. It doesn't feel like work to me.
Yeah.
So being able to dedicate a lot of time to the store is super enjoyable to me. Curry, my husband, super supportive. Like every Thursday we do a live sale. He comes and gets the kids, and they go home, and I stay here late. Sometimes I don't get home until 8, 9 o'clock. And he does it with a smile on his face. So that I get to pour into this business, because there's a certain passion with this that I want it to succeed, and I want to grow even bigger. And I don't know, it's enjoyable. It's not a daunting task. So that's number one. And I know that sounds silly, but because this is my job, but I love dedicating as much time as I can to the store. And then number two is I also am super passionate about our local school district. That's where I went to school. That's where our kids will go to school. Well, it is where Russ goes to school. So I'm on the school board out there. Hey, get out of here, bulldog. Oh.
Pee on patrol, yeah.
Romp. Go P-Town.
Romp around.
Anyways, I love that place. And so I want to make the school, not that it needs change, but you have to evolve with the times. I want to continue to be a part of, I guess is what I should say, the growth and the positivity that comes with our school district. And so I volunteer time on our school board. And then a lot of my friends and I started a parent-led group called Pirate Parents. And so this month it's called Pirate Bash. It's essentially a fall carnival, and then we try and do things fun for the community, for the kids, but then also while raising funds to pour back into the school.
Yes.
So really those are what I do, the things I do, I would say for me, because I get so much enjoyment and fulfillment from those tasks or duties, is school board, Pirate Parents, and then the store. And those are things that I have to do without my kids. And like I said, thankfully Curry steps up and supports me in those. So I'm able to dedicate time to those things. So
as long as it fills your cup.
That's what I was going to say.
And this is such a hobby. Like, yes, you run the store with your mom, and it's a family business, but
and it's work.
Anytime I come in here, I feel like it fills my cup.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just to come in, walk around, like the vibe, like everything, you know what I mean? So
thank you for saying that. That's what we strive to be, is we want to be a happy place for people to come into. So thank you for saying that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think there's nothing wrong with what you do for you is pouring into your community. Like, that's you. Like, that's what makes you happy. It doesn't have to be like, no, but what's it just about you? It doesn't have to be that. Like, that's okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Well, Curry used to ask me, he's like, but you don't have a hobby. And I'm like, but that is my, like, that's hobby. You know, I don't go, like, sewing or, you know, those are my hobbies. That's where I get fulfillment. And so I am super passionate about those things and love it. So.
And I'm selfish. I like to fill my cup, so to speak, when Augustine's at school, because when she's home, she does fill my cup.
Yeah.
And we travel a lot. We do a lot of family-oriented things. We're always on the go. And my life hasn't slowed down. It's changed some from what I do, but it hasn't slowed down, and she's just right there and goes with us everywhere.
Absolutely.
I don't want to do stuff without my kid.
I feel the exact same way.
So when she's at school, I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to go get my toes done. I'm going to read a book or just relax, or, you know, go up to work with them and just hang out, whatever. Just get a little social time in. And then when she's home, I'm like, I can come hang out with y'all, but like, my kid's coming.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're going to have to be okay with that.
I cannot miss something of the kids for me.
Yeah.
But sometimes I fill my cup, obviously being with my family for sure.
Yes.
But I love a good girls' dinner or sitting on someone's couch and just laughing.
Yeah.
Kids can be running around, but I need that.
Yeah.
A good girls' trip every now and then is so nice too, because it just reminds me of the fun.
Yeah.
And I come home a little regenerized. It's been a long time from a girls' trip, but it is so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what do you feel like is next for y'all? You made a comment earlier, and I won't, make you go in on it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
next.
But I mean, you have a 3 and a 1-year-old, so you aren't like in a rush by any means, I'm sure. But I'm just like, how many kids do you think that y'all want? After you've been through the thick of it, after you've been through, in my opinion, that I mean, it is wild and crazy still. Like 4 kids is still wild, but it's more busy. We're all going here, here, and here. Like last night, I couldn't be there to help with Annie's decorating of the pep rally, but I was at a bulldog bash for Gus, and then football practice for one, and then Jordan's at football practice for the other one, and then the other one needed a ride home. Like it just
divide and conquer.
Just wild,
divide and conquer for sure. So what's next? We definitely want 3. I will tell you that. So we will try again. However, back to they're both boys. We will try again not in the foreseeable future, like soon. They're wild.
But at some point,
at some point. So in a perfect world.
Yes.
Perfect world, Hayes will at least be 3. Because I also have a sense of, I feel a little bit guilty. That the boys, now that Hayes is here, I love it. But like I said, like my 2-year-old, he's still a baby and he still needed me. And so now I'm like, man, that was a little bit closer than I actually thought it would be, which now I'm super grateful. They're both boys. They're going to grow up and be tight, and I love that.
And they're built-in best friends.
Yes.
And even when they fight and argue, they still have each other.
Yeah. And so, I don't know, in a perfect world, Hayes will at least be 3. And then we'll probably consider it. And then we're crossing our fingers for a girl.
Of course.
And so if we get a girl, we'll probably be done. If we don't get a girl, I'm not done. I don't know that Curry is done. He says he's done at 3, but we'll see because he wants a little girl so bad.
Of course. Not that you wouldn't love boys too, but it just is like, of course you want to experience that.
Absolutely.
And, yes.
But I also struggle with, I don't know how you can ever, I say we're done, but like I'm going to struggle with being done.
It is a big struggle.
I don't know how anybody can ever just say, yeah, we're done and walk off. Because for me, I'm never going to, even if we get a girl next, it's easy for me to say that sitting here. I'm not faced with the situation right now. But even if we got a girl, I don't know that I will ever feel comfortable being done. That will be such a new thing to navigate and so heartbreaking at the same time for me.
There are still times you hear me say there is no way I would have another child, and there isn't. I don't. My youngest is 7 now, and the 4th came at such a shock, but there is a feeling in the pit of your stomach to think, how is that chapter closed between my husband and I, and me carrying a child for the last time. And, and I mean, I loved being pregnant.
I did too.
They were not great pregnancies. Like, so it's not like it was just one of those that just like, oh, you gained 15 pounds and it was great. No, it wasn't. I was massive and blood pressure and all the things. But like, you know that chapter's closing.
Yes.
But to say that you ever feel peace with it is hard, because it is such a great thing, but it is such a sad thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I try to explain that to Curry too, and I think it's just a difference of moms and dads. He doesn't understand
that
what
maternal,
I'm saying. Yes. And so anyways, what's next? Definitely a third, but I don't know how I can sit here and say, and then I'm done, So
I love
we'll
that.
see. Wherever we're supposed to go and God leads us, that's probably the best answer.
I love it. Well, do you have anything else for Madison?
No.
I could sit here and talk
we
all
can
day.
talk all day.
I could too.
But thank you so much.
Thank y'all for having me.
Yes.
I love you both dearly, so I appreciate y'all having me on the podcast.
And we'll do it again.
Yeah.